You are now entering a world of mystery. A world some would say is a hoax. In this podcasted dimension, everything you know about the paranormal, space, time, and existence itself will be questioned. Will you find answers here, or will you only find more questions? You cannot help but be intrigued. You cannot fight what's happening to you. You are now in the 45th Parallel.
And welcome to the 45th Parallel.
I'm Boz.
I am Bentley. And Boz, I know we've been promising it.
It's time for Kegel Camp.
We've been promising it, but I think we're going to do it this time.
Awesome.
We've got the GoPros. I've done a couple episodes of my other podcast, and I figured it all out. So I'm no longer experimenting on this show like the government experiments on aliens. More on that later.
Perfect. I was talking to Starseed.
Okay.
And he was actually, he wasn't surprised that the cameras didn't work the first time we tried them. Because he said that his just energy just doesn't allow for that stuff to happen.
Also, I bought the cheap chips that go in the GoPros that process things slower. So trying to process things at 1080p fucking 1920 on the fucking $40 chips just doesn't work. So
I like to go better with
I don't, because it makes him
Starseed.
sound like he's the fucking center of the universe, which seems to be his major flaw in his entire life.
I like Starseed.
I like him too, but not everything is fucking explained by some weird shit that happens to him.
I think so.
I don't. Not at all.
It's your opinion.
It's not my opinion, because the cameras also didn't work on the same setting when I was trying to do choreography for Enchanted Forest.
What's that choreography look like?
Okay, it goes like this. Let's see here. I start a new fashion. I set a new trend. I raise my hem and everyone knows.
Tell the story
Watching
about
my
when you're in your
outfits
backyard
will
doing
give
that.
me a thrill, mixing and matching with so much skill. Who needs a tan? The clothes make the man. Tie me up in ribbons and bows.
You just did Macarena.
Well, I hit my hips and it's like more Marilyn Monroe.
Or it's that that All About That Bass girl. Megan Trainor. That's what her name is.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we have here today.
I've been Bentley.
I've been Boz.
Hey, and don't forget, subscribe.
To us.
I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
So what were you saying? Something about me? What does what look like? Oh, no, choreography?
Yeah.
I just did. Okay.
But then I remember you telling me that story about you were in your backyard and your friend,
Oh, yeah,
your
where I was
kids'
practicing.
friends
Yeah.
came over or something.
Yeah,
like that.
our neighbors, they've got like a higher deck, which can see over our fence. And so I was in the backyard practicing the entire play and the choreography. So I'm just running around my backyard, visualizing everything that's supposed to be on the stage. And then I'm doing that song, which, as you can see, is very ridiculous. It's very cabaret. And, oh, no. And I get done with the song, and it's like I've got it all on my phone or whatever, and I'm listening to the play because I, do all the voices like a jerk. And I turned around, and, yeah, his friend and, like, their brother and sister are just sitting on the porch, like, laughing at me. And I'm like, oh, boy. Good. My son's going to get beat up at school.
Perfect.
Because I'm out here dancing like a fool. There's a couple things, actually, before we get into topics and that sort of stuff, that just like small little things that the first one, I found this really, really interesting. You know that thing like once if you turn off all the lights, you're in the dark, and then it's like you see like little light sources and like that sort of stuff. Have you ever done that? Where like if you're in the complete dark or something like that, like say you've gone into a room, shut the door, and then you're fiddling for the light switch, but it's like you see like little, maybe almost like orb type things, or like or there's like a pattern in the darkness or anything.
Nope.
Then you are not a human being, because that is something that every human being fucking has happened.
Well, I
to
just
them.
don't remember.
Well, pay attention when you're in the dark now.
I like to turn on, if I have to turn off a light.
I like to turn off the light.
I like to, when I go into a room, like, I always have a light on.
Right.
So I'm not in that position where it's complete dark and I'm searching for a fucking light, because so don't look at the camera like that. So if I want to go into my bedroom's dark. I go in whilst my
nice
living room light is on, turn on my bedroom light, and then I turn off my living room light.
You're a nut job.
Because the creatures will get me.
Okay.
Ay, Dios mío. La Llorona.
The crying woman at the lake is back.
Episode 6. I don't know.
That's a good guess. I don't know.
Episode 6. Hora 7.
Anyway, that phenomenon, if you will, or for example, like if you look at like a pattern, this used to happen to me when I was in grade school all the time. I'd go to the bathroom, and you know how they have like the little tiles, and you look down, it's just the tiled floor in the bathroom, and it almost looks like you can see like molecules running in between, because your brain's like piecing together like what's in between like the different colored tiles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Actually, I was going to be researching a different topic, and this kind of ties into this what you're saying right now.
Okay. So that is what is affectionately known as prisoner cinema, because if they're like in the hole, they're by themselves and it's in complete darkness, they get the visions of light. And people, scientists and researchers have been thinking that this may be one reason for Neolithic cave paintings. They think they might be the result of the prisoner cinema, because the cave people were like in the dark, and so, or they had very minimal light, and so they would see these things and they would try to commemorate them on the walls. Like, oh, I saw this object in the light, this thing was speaking to me, or this, whatever. They didn't understand what it was. So I just thought that was interesting.
Cool.
Then I also have a sort of one of our classic time travel scenarios, something I thought about.
Love these.
Yeah, when we were discussing time travel, one of the billions of times on this fucking podcast.
Literally billions.
Literally billions. But I had this thought, because it wasn't, I think it was the episode right before Starseed. And we would brought up time travel or something like that. But I was thinking of this. I wonder if you could time travel forward. Excuse me. Allergies. I wonder if you could time travel forward in time accurately because of the infinite possibilities things. So whatever, like if you time travel forward, technically you're not going to the future. I was wondering if you're going to one of the many possibilities of slider type futures, or even taking it even farther, could you even logistically time travel forward, since a machine and like that sort of space that like you would have to have the calculations of taking into account the decisions of shit that is like what is going on now. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Nope.
How do you not understand what I'm saying?
Because if you were to time travel right now,
right?
I have like a bug at my nose. Anyways,
no, it's a ring.
No, it's up at this one.
Oh,
the ring's on this one. So you are if it's an infinite amount of possibilities, okay, you are in the possibility right now where you are time traveling. So it's not going to mess anything up. You're not going to go to another future because another possibility, because this is the possibility.
Yeah, but you're in the present. You're not in the future.
Right, but you're going to be time traveling to the future.
You're going to be time traveling to the future, which hasn't been written yet by any sort of the possibilities.
It absolutely has.
How?
Because that whole timeline is already set. So starting here, you're born.
Right.
Starting here, you're going to time travel to here where you're probably going to die.
Why am I going to die?
Well, whatever. I'm just coming up with an example.
Why am I going to die when I time travel?
It's just later, man.
This doesn't make me want to time travel at all.
It's just later, man. So I'm
going to put my time traveling
in an infinite amount of possibilities. You're going to time travel, and in one possibility, you're going to accidentally go backwards. In one possibility, you're going to go forward only by a minute. In another possibility, you're going to go a minute and a second.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm asking you, could you even accurately time travel forward because of the idea that there are so many possibilities? Could you accurately time travel forward? You know, like how Michael J. Fox in the second one goes to, he sees the fucking future, his kids are a bunch of assholes, he fights Griff, all that shit. is that just a possibility? Could that even like, because like you go forward and you see all that shit and you go, oh man, that's kind of crazy. Say you don't even, we'll just say DeLorean, say you don't get out of the car or the time traveling device. You just see Salem in 50 years. You just see it somehow, like you're flying over it or something. You just look at it and you go, oh, okay, that's fucked up. And then you go back. Is the future that you're going to then live to, could that even be the same one possibly that you time travel to? Because what if something happens that, wasn't taken into account when you went forward? Something that hadn't happened yet. Or say you do something differently now and it changes it.
I think in this universe that you live in, it would be the exact same.
Okay.
Because if you made an attempt to change anything, that possibility is right now, and it's going to lead to what you saw.
Okay.
There's no changes in possibilities at that point. So there's an infinite amount of you that are now time traveling to the future with a span of infinite possibilities. You're living that one. You're living that one possibility. If you go back, you're still living in this universe as the only possibility.
Here, straighten that up a little bit more.
It is fucking straight, man.
It's not straight. You got to get right in the center of it.
I'm in the suck a dick check.
Yep. Now it sounds better.
All right. Well, anyways, it's the same thing.
Oh, okay. Well, you kind of ruined my fun, but.
I'm sorry.
See, what other... Do I have anything else that could be fun?
Okay, so this thing that I was researching yesterday, I was planning on doing demonology today. Yeah, so this is the second time I've tried to almost do demonology, but it's like...
Let me guess. Brandon Starcy wouldn't allow you to do it.
No. It's an interesting topic, but I want to say just too much stuff is really hidden. Like in Vatican City. I'm going crazy. Anyways.
You mean it's too wide of a topic for you to learn all about it in one day?
Sure. Sure, we'll go with that. But it was interesting. A lot of demonologists, they only
got their bachelor's in one day.
Right. They feel that like all the big guns, Satan, Belial, Beelzebub, they're not really actual beings. They're
beings.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said beans.
Is that a Mexican joke? They're not actual entities. They're like a plug-in to this super dimensional highway. Where you can access, their thoughts and their powers.
Really?
Yeah.
So it would be like what, like downloading an upgrade for a program type of thing?
Exactly. And like they were talking about, and this is where the movement comes along, looking at the prisoner, whatever you said, prisoner cinema. There, each demon or angel has like a sigil, and to tap into that, you basically... Listen, if you guys want to go do this on your own, I'm not going to fucking do it.
Look, we don't recommend this.
We don't recommend this at all. But you put a protective circle, you stand in it, you put the sigil on the wall.
How do you make a protective circle?
I don't fucking know.
Isn't it salt?
Maybe. I'm not going really detailed into this.
I'm basing all of this off of like 4 episodes of Charmed that I saw. Perfect.
And then you put the sigil on the wall and you just stare at it, and then it'll start moving. And then at that point it moves and it opens, and then you can tap into that specific angel or demon.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Kinda.
It reminds me of one of the audiobooks that I always mentioned. It was either Mage Sign or Realm Shift. In one of those books, kind of like Constantine, he goes to hell.
I honestly thought both of those were one title.
No, 2 different books. Working on the third one. And yeah, he goes to hell and like he meets a bunch of different demons and it talks about like demon possession. It's a weird book, but that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Just plug in download one of those books, support the podcast.
Perfect. So I just found that interesting when I was researching demonology yesterday.
Have you done any of the ghost hunting that you said you were going to?
No. Okay. Here's the deal.
Okay.
Here's the deal.
Oh shit.
So my friend whose house I want to.
Real bitch.
No, not at all. He would love for me to go in there and do it. Mm-hmm. It's his ex-wife, kinda whatever they're doing. Mm-hmm. She won't let me come hang out.
Oh, why is she still there? Doesn't she know there's ghost hunting to be done?
I know. I don't know. I really want to. I've been trying.
Girls.
I've been trying.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, keep us updated. Are you ever gonna stick your phone back in that room at your work?
If they give me access to that room again, absolutely.
You don't have access to it?
No, not at all. Because like the boss there moved to a different room.
Okay.
So we no longer need access to that room.
Oh,
so we can't get into that room.
And you can't very well tell them that you're ghost hunting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that won't happen.
Right.
Oh, actually, Starseed and another employee there saw some shadows in the corner of their eyes where there was just in like a corner of the room. That was pretty cool.
Oh, where it was fully lit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Same where I saw the shadow, too. So
you got a couple of other paranormal people there now?
It's mostly just me and Starseed.
Right.
We're actually bringing one of the new hires that we have. He doesn't really believe at all in this stuff, but we've been talking to him.
Bringing him around.
Yeah, he actually, we started talking to him. He's listening to Sasquatch Chronicles now. He's like, dude, I never thought about it, but I think I fucking believe in Bigfoot now.
Right.
And so we're slowly opening some gates.
And you're like, and if you don't want to believe in anything and base everything off of hearsay, listen to our show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we make no sense. He actually listens to the show. He loves it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. What up? How you doing? What's his name?
Dirk.
What up, Dirk? What's his last name?
Not going to say.
Okay.
On the podcast. I call him Dirk the Daring.
Dirk the Daring. That's a very nice alliteration.
It's from,
I've only known one Dirk
Dragon
in my
Quest
life.
Or whatever?
I've only known one Dirk in my life. And that was my little brother's friend. And
could be the same guy.
And then, of course, the rollerblade Dirks. They were one of their aggro street skates. Don't get Boz and I started on rollerblading.
Yeah, this is going to turn into a rollerblading podcast.
All right. Let's go to the shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
This week's shout-outs go to @Doreen's, an Aussie living in Seattle. Enjoy the rain. @Craig_A_Murray, a filmmaker and writer. What's up, Craig? @See the Roses, a writer and free spirit by the looks of it. Check out gotchaghost.com for all your ghost hunting camera needs. Make sure to subscribe to the Want to Believe subreddit to keep up on all things paranormal. If you'd like to say hi or get a shout out on the show, get in touch with us via Twitter @45th Parallel Pod. Follow Bentley @BentleyWho. Follow Boz @iCultStatus.
And welcome back to the 45th Parallel. I am Bentley.
Walking the floor with Boz.
Oh, yeehaw. So, Boz?
Hey, man.
What do you got for us?
Lucid dreaming.
Okay.
Have you ever lucid dreamed?
I think we've talked about this before where...
Have we talked about it on the podcast?
Yeah, where you've explained to me what lucid dreaming was, and then I said, well, this is what I did, and then you go, well, that's not it, and I go, well, I did this as well. You're like, well, I don't know. So that's about where we're at.
I think we were talking about sleep paralysis.
Yeah, but we were also talking about lucid dreaming.
Oh. Well, see, the viewers are going to be able to see me read my notes here.
Oh, boy.
So lucid dreaming is essentially knowing that you're dreaming.
Right.
So, it's often is the realization that you're in there is triggered by the dreamer yourself.
Me.
Noticing that some impossible or unlikely occurrences are happening, such as you're flying or you're meeting the deceased.
I always fly.
Or you're meeting the deceased.
I don't.
Sometimes people lucid dream without even noticing that they're lucid dreaming, and then suddenly they'll just realize it automatically. Like something will click. Oh, also, I need to backtrack real quick.
Yeah.
The demon thing I was talking about.
Okay.
It's actually, we're just unlocking another, what this demonologist was explaining is that you're just unlocking another gate in your subconsciousness. We all have all of this already in our brain.
Okay.
We use the sigils to unlock it. So that's what I was going to say. So
and this has been Follow-Up Corner with Boz.
Exactly. Thank you. Let's see. So lucid dreams could be good for, different things. People do go on adventures. They help with nightmare treatment.
Right.
And stuff like that. So
I wonder if when you take DMT, if it's like a hyperactive version of lucid dream.
I'm actually going to kind of get into doing drugs.
Okay.
And how those actually, well, I'll just tell you, drugs like that, especially marijuana, and I think I read DMT as well, that it actually it blocks receptors in your brain from firing off, so it actually causes you to be unable to lucid dream.
Well, that would explain why I sleep so well at night.
Exactly. So if you consider that once you know you're dreaming, you are then restricted only by your imagination or abilities. No laws or physics or anything or society can hold you back, man. So this is actually going to be a really quick. I want to just talk about how to induce lucid dreaming, how I induce lucid dreaming.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of your experiences
and some of my experiences with lucid dreaming, because I feel like I had my first one. I don't remember now. It might have been after. It might have been after at one point, if I ever have gotten high. Neither confirm or deny that.
Right. No. Why would you? You can't.
Right. Well,
I understand.
Okay.
Move on.
So anyways, there are two essential to learning lucid dreaming, and it's just motivation and effort.
Yeah.
How much time are you going to spend? It's just like riding a bike, playing drums, playing guitar. Practicing. You just got to practice. Why you got to say practicing my guitar? I practice my guitar every day.
I'm just saying. Practicing your guitar.
All right, cool. So one thing that you can do, and you have to really work on dream recalling.
Okay.
And it's the most important prerequisite for learning lucid dreaming is being excellent at recalling your dreams.
Okay.
When you remember your dreams well, you can become familiar with the features and patterns of dreams. This helps you recognize them as dreams while they're still happening. Second, it is possible that with poor dream recall, you may actually have lucid dreams still, but you won't be able to remember anything.
Right.
So one thing that you can do,
which is me, I don't remember shit.
One thing that you can do to actually help with dream recall is have a dream book right next to your bed. And as soon as you wake up, you start writing every single detail of your dream that you remember.
I have a 15-minute, the last dream that I had, I have a 15-minute audio recording I made because I remembered everything, and it rarely happens. And so I was like, shit, this dream is fucking nuts.
Dude.
And I...
do you remember what it's about right now?
Yeah.
You want to tell us?
No.
Why not? Personal?
Yeah.
I had a dream one time where the CKY crew, Bam Margera, Ryan Dunn, we were on...
Clearly you were dreaming.
We were on river boats, right? But the river boats were Lamborghinis. And then all of a sudden, I crash onto this fucking beach and then walk up this hill. And then I'm at like the show Weeds, how it's like a development, Yeah. Fucking Adam Sandler's there, painting a brown fence white. And he's like, what do you say? He's like, the fence has to be white. And then just fucking goes nuts on me.
How's your boozy?
Yeah, exactly. So the next things to do, you can do some reality testing. There's while you're in dreams, you can start the beginner technique is, carry some text with you or wear a digital watch throughout the day. Do a reality test. Read the words or the numbers on the watch, then look away, look back, observing the letters and numbers to see if they change.
Try like some Inception shit.
Pretty much, man. I mean, try to make them change while you watch them. Research shows that text in dreams change 75% of the time it is reread once and changes 95% of the time as it's read twice.
Totally.
So
I know what that part of the dream is
if the characters do change or are not normal or do not make sense, then you're most likely dreaming.
Most likely.
Right. One thing that I do when I'm in a dream state is I'll plug my nose.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to breathe through my nose.
Okay.
If I can still breathe through my nose, I'm fucking dreaming. Because I should not be able to breathe through my nose at that point.
Yeah, that's how plugging your nose works.
Yeah. This is like really fucking high.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, that's a lot better.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I told you. Get right in the center of that bitch. You sound so much warmer now.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
All right. So imagine that you're
You sound like Mark Maron.
Imagine that your surroundings are a dream. Thank you. And so if you wake up in the middle of the night, keep your eyes closed.
Yeah.
If you're fairly certain that you're awake, say to yourself, I may not be dreaming now, but if I were, what would it be like? Visualize as vividly as possible that you are dreaming. Intently imagine, Jesus, that what you're seeing, hearing, smelling, feeling.
It's been a few
is
weeks
all
since
a
we
dream.
did it.
It is.
You're a little rough.
I am a little rough right now. Oh,
it's
man.
okay. I've got my handwritten notes to go through, so
it's all good.
We'll see what happens.
So, imagine yourself floating off the ground. Imagine yourself, flying. And then if you,
I love when I can control the flying,
dude. I've only been recently able to do that.
Yeah,
but
it's not very frequent for me. It's like it's more. I rarely get to control it. Usually, it's one of those things where I can start to I can jump and I'll jump off and I'll take off, and then I'll just start to fall. And I'm like trying. I can feel like dream me or maybe even real me, if I had a GoPro on me, going like, come on, like fly, you fucker, and I usually just fall. But
yeah,
occasionally I'll be able to take off. And my favorite is like when I wake up, if I'll crash, or something like that, I'll wake up and I'll have that thing, where it's like if you're falling in your dream, then it's like you kick like that or something like that,
Yeah.
And you wake up to your body actually moving. Like I'll wake up like that. Like I just hit the ground. I'll go and I'll wake up. My favorite though is when you can no, fuck that. Hold on. And you're right back in. You're just
love it.
Yeah. You slide right
usually when I try to fly, I jump up and then I jump really high, but then I just fall back down. But I used to have really vivid dreams like that, where you just jump and wake up, especially in high school when I played trumpet. In jazz band, we had to stand on milk crates. Exactly. So our teacher made us stand on milk crates so the trumpets would be above everybody else and just be able to blast. But I would have a dream where I was playing, but then I'd fucking fall off my milk crate and just jam my mouthpiece in and just wake up all the time like that. Dude, it was the biggest fear.
Did you ever actually almost fall?
Oh, yeah. They were fucking milk crates, man. Like the red ones, the red plastic ones. So if we had to stand on the edges, but getting up, to the edges, we didn't stand in the middle at all because we're just going to fall through those. So standing on the edges, we would do a little kick, and almost fall over all the time. Teacher's
you're doing the balance, right?
Teachers just get used to it. I need you to stand on those. And then one time we went to a showdown.
Except for the trumpet player that was 7 feet tall. He's like, fuck you guys. Da,
right.
Da, da, da.
But we went to a showdown in Springfield.
With your milk crates.
Yeah. Well, we brought the milk crates.
Yeah.
They fucking had bleachers going. And we were like, fuck, that is so... We're not going to fall. We're going to be able to stand. And we're like, this is fucking heaven right now.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You guys didn't have bleachers at McKay?
No, we had milk crates.
No bleachers in the choir room?
They had them, yeah. We got milk crates. Red Dairy Gold milk crates.
Oh, even our band had fucking bleachers.
Well, yeah, you went to McNary. I went to the fucking poorest school in Salem.
No, it's not North Salem High School.
No, we are poorer than them.
McKay?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, so next thing you want to do, before you go to bed, you can visualize yourself enjoying a dream activity.
Oh.
You can, decide on something that you would like to do in your next lucid dream.
Real quick, I was going to ask you this before we started bickering about whose high school is poor fucking 15 years ago. When you fell and you... With the trumpet thing, could you feel when you woke up? Was there residual pain in your mouth, or your teeth hurt, or something like that? Or
I want to say like.
Do you ever like bite your lip or anything, or
a little bit? I mean, you double check shit. You know, you check to make sure all your teeth are there. Just like if I lose teeth in a dream, I always have to like wake up and like
make sure you're not pulling Charlie Kelly.
Tongue my exactly. Just pulling out teeth everywhere. I have to like tongue where my.
There's another. Quit doing that.
But you have to like tongue around. You know, and, that's what I used to do.
Yeah. All right. So.
Anyways. So decide on something that you would like to do in your next dream.
Oh.
Would you like to fly?
Yeah. What adventure would you like to
talk to popular or particular dream characters? Or just explore the dream world. Continue to imagine this that you are dreaming now. Visualize yourself enjoying the chosen activity. And you're out. Hey, Bentley.
Hey.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, I was falling off of a milk crate. It's fucking crazy. And then I woke up here. Who are you?
Oh my God, dude. So again, like the biggest thing that you can do is just, practice dream recall, practice. I'm going to give you my technique.
Oh. Notes out of here.
For me, lucid dreaming can only happen if I'm really fucking tired.
Yeah.
If I'm not really fucking tired, it's not gonna happen at all.
Right.
So what
Did you
I'll
have
do?
some badass lucid dreams after your fucking 50-mile bike ride?
No, I actually didn't. I took some potassium tablets, and then it was 55 miles, by the way. I took some potassium tablets, laid down in bed, and just fucking chilled.
Potassium tablets,
dude. Cramps everywhere in my legs.
You fucking 85.
Cramps everywhere. Fuck you. It took me. I got a fucking Charlie horse in my leg that I was laying down. Okay, I was laying on my back. I turned over.
Here goes Boz's amazing space work for the camera.
I turned over and I lay on my stomach, but I put one leg up, kind of.
Why would you do that?
Instant inside of my leg.
Yeah.
I couldn't even straighten my leg.
Yeah.
I finally kind of got it straightened. Tried to stand up. No, back down on the bed. Tried to stand up again. Kind of got up, but my leg, I was standing up like this.
Yeah.
And my leg.
Show your dick right to the camera.
Hey, what's up? Ladies, I'm single. And took me 6 minutes to even...
That's 45th Parallel Podcast at gmail.com.
Exactly. Snapchat, I call status.
It's Snapchat, I call status.
Took me 6 minutes to get into the bathroom, man.
Wow.
It hurt so bad. And then I was like, fuck, I have potassium. I might as well take it.
And what does that do? Now, this was for what? The charity?
Reach the Beach for the American Lung Association.
Nice.
So
I'll be needing that charity in a while.
I rode 55 miles on my bicycle.
Yeah, first time, eh?
First time riding that long.
Yeah, because you were saying you were training, but you were like, you'd ride like, what, 15, 20 miles or something like that? 15,
20 miles.
Right.
Go to the gym. I did forget my my padded liner. So I basically had taint blowout by by the first leg. So that was awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyways, what I do for lucid dreaming, I have to be super tired. Most of the time, I will then set an alarm an hour to 2 hours after I go to bed.
Okay.
So it wakes me up. That just puts all, it calms my mood down. So from the first 2 hours that I'm sleeping, I should be calm, ready to hit REM. We're good. I'll wake up and then I'll instantly close my eyes again, but I'll take my index finger, my middle finger, put them to my side. And then you want to have this type of motion while your eyes are closed.
Kicking in the water.
But I'm still doing it right now. You don't want to, this will keep your brain up. Mm-hmm. This solely lets you go back to sleep. And I'm doing this, but just on a smaller scale.
Right.
And somehow this motion induces me into lucid dreaming.
Was it like a video or something you watched where someone taught you that, or?
I think it was just an article that I read. I think our good friend Hood Hello sent it to me.
Oh, okay.
And because
friend of the show,
when I was talking about lucid dreaming on my Facebook, and he sent me that article.
Oh, that's cool.
So that just fucking works for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't personally remember if I've ever, because like I said, I don't really remember the dreams. I have a lot of space dreams. Like I'm going to and I always view it as almost like a movie or a cartoon. I've always viewed my dreams that way. Ever since I was a little kid, I have a lot of dreams where I'm in space going to different planets. And then the flying thing kind of comes in there because there's like less gravity or no gravity or, you know what I mean?
Right.
Excuse me. But I was always older in the dreams. I was older than I was that. Like I knew that I was an adult. Like I thought that I was like my father's age or something like that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid. And I would have these space dreams. But then again, I also watched a lot of Looney Tunes, and fucking Marvin the Martian and, Bugs Bunny and shit like that. So my dreams were always very Looney Tunes-esque, but or it's something, comics based, like superhero, where it's with the flying, like I'm some sort of, like I'm some sort of like third-rate comic book character or something like that, but it was always to this day when I have those dreams, it's of like the 4 or 5 block radius that my paper route was in Kaiser, my old neighborhood in Kaiser. It's not anything around here. It's never anything modern. It's that old neighborhood whenever I have dreams of like flying and doing different stuff or whatever.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, the one that I did have, recently, like that 15-minute long thing, it was a really weird thing where it was like cabin up in the woods type of thing, and there was like, but we were like up on this mountain sort of thing, but we could look down and it was like the back, because I was doing a bunch of research, and I still am, for something for this show, and it's about Disneyland and the whole Disney idea and the cult of Disney and like just all the different weird shit that goes on at Disney and that kind of shit. So I was looking at like back behind the scenes stuff, characters without their head, and so it was like the back, I was looking at the back layout of Disneyland, and working at a theme park, I know the back areas and like right. It's nowhere even fucking close to being the same at all.
Yeah.
Our theme park is probably about as big as the area that it takes to enter Disneyland and then get to the end of Main Street. It's not very big at all, but it's just on a mountain on the side of a hill, and it's all spread out. But like I know all the behind the scenes stuff, so I was looking up Disney stuff, and then it was like this dream. I was up in this mountain, up in this thing, and we were looking down, and like our buddy Derek Vaslev, he's a maintenance person out there in Enchanted Forest,
right?
But so he was like in this behind the scenes area, and it was this theme park, and he was like back there doing maintenance stuff, and it was this whole weird thing, and like the wife was there, and it was like this weird collection of people that were all like in the house together, and like we all worked at the theme park, I think. And so it was kind of like a real world thing where we all worked at this theme park, and then our interpersonal thing. So she wasn't my wife in the dream, but she was in the thing itself. Yeah, it was really fucked up. It was really weird. All sorts of stuff. Tales of Maida, plots of Maida. I have very elaborate dreams. That was the last one I kind of remember.
Do you just have dreams of games of Clue? Pretty much.
Yeah, it's basically. Yeah, my dreams are always very, very cinematic, and like they have a sort of a beginning, middle, and end.
I have a lot of dreams where I just bang ladies.
Jesus.
Snapchat, I call stats.
Oh boy. You got anything else on it?
No, man, I'm good.
Okay. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Want to tell your friends about the new episodes? Not sure where to send them? Well, here are the most convenient ways to find new episodes of the 45th Parallel. You can find it on iTunes, your Android podcast app of choice, or Stitcher. Just type in 45th Parallel and start listening. You can stream all episodes, new and old, through our Tumblr page, which is 45thparallelpodcast.tumblr.com, or jack into the feed directly. 45th Parallel Podcast.libsyn.com/RSS. Make sure to subscribe and rate our show so we can climb the charts and get our paranormal message out there. Thanks for listening.
And welcome back to the 45th Parallel. I am Bentley.
And I'm Boz. Bows, bows, bows. Bows, 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 the boss. The boss. The boss. The boss, the bossy boss. Ba-da-boss. Ba-boss. The boss, the bossy boss. Yes, dude, I'm so glad we got that. God, we fucking write the hits. We write the hits.
All right.
I don't understand how we do that, but I'm cool with it.
Spirit guides.
Dude, do I have boogers in my nose?
I can't tell.
Does Jared get up all on this like I do?
Nah, he stays back from it because
he knows I get up all on it?
Well, he just assumes that's the communal one.
Yeah.
So he assumes.
Yeah, whatever.
He won't get him. I tell him all the time. I'm like, get closer. He's like, nah. But he always sounds better than me anyway, because I'm always right up on it, like blowing the fucking shit out.
Strange Mexican guy that just, well, he's half Mexican guy that just, I don't know, and he just puts his mouth up on this.
Okay.
And, he's sucking a dick check, and
God, you gotta quit saying that.
Why? It's what we do.
Not anymore. We've got the big microphones now.
We literally just did that to check these mics.
Hangar 18, Boz.
Oh, shit, yeah. Go for it, because this is exciting already.
What do you know about Hangar 18?
Where they kept all the UFOs, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
At Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Where's that at, folks?
Dayton, Ohio.
Where's it at? Berwick.
Dayton, Ohio.
That was Life for Karma.
Okay. Life for Karma.
Dude, do you still have Guayong Zong's phone number?
Zomilli?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Let's call him right now.
No.
Come on, let's call him right now.
Zomilligram?
Yeah.
Why?
Just say, hey, what's up?
Nah.
Let him know we're recording.
Nah.
Come on, then we'll go into
I've tried to talk to him several times via Skype and via email, and he hasn't been wanting to talk.
Give me his phone number right now.
No, you got his phone number. You gave it to me.
I deleted it. I didn't put it in my phone.
Oh, well, I don't have it.
Well, you just told me you did.
Well, I forgot. I have it via Skype. I talked to him via Skype.
This podcast is over.
Okay. Hangar 18. It all started
on a cool July night.
Yeah. July 1947. The Roswell crash.
You know why I did that?
We all
remote viewed it.
God damn it. You were the worst. You interrupt more than I do now.
I don't know about that.
The video will show you.
We flippy floppy, definitely. Okay, yeah. I'm going to let you talk now. Flippy floppy.
It all started with the July 1947 Roswell business. And, wreckage of the craft over miles and that sort of stuff. And then, the whole thing of numerous papers the next day saying it was a flying disc. And then there was immediate recant saying that there was, weather balloons. And then it had, the guy, with like all the weather balloon stuff, stuff that it clearly didn't make sense. It's been said that the Roswell crash stuff was taken to Dayton, Ohio, Wright Field. It was called Wright Field, to Hangar 18. Now there's a declassified FBI document that was typed up the same week as the Roswell incident, and it says amongst the things being transferred to Wright Field was the disc/balloon recovered in Roswell.
Bullshit.
Well, the disc, it was saying
the balloon.
Yeah, well, they were saying balloon because of the cover story.
It's a bunch of balloony.
Yeah. Hey.
Thank you.
Snaps.
Thank you.
But yeah, that stuff is being flown to Wright Field. Now there is a man. His name is Marion Magruder, known as Black Mac. He was a World War II fighter pilot. Basically, what they did was at Wright Field. It's one of the largest Air Force bases that we have even to this day, and their sort of motto is what is tomorrow's Air Force going to look like? Wright Field and Wright-Patterson, Air Force Base, they test a lot. They were the ones testing the SR-71 Blackbird. They were the ones testing the stealth bomber. They test like all the different types of ships and the missiles and everything that like has to do with air flight and that sort of technology. They test. They're the place. They got a huge fucking assembly there, and so they had a bunch of World War II ace pilots basically there working on different stuff and whatever. And this guy Marion Magruder, classic on his deathbed, 40 years, 50 years after this happened, he was talking to his son. Like as he was dying, he's like, Dad, tell me about this thing, other people should know. And so he was telling him about it. It's the classic thing of it was the wrinkled, they could wrinkle the metal, it was light. They couldn't tear it apart. He said he saw bodies. I believe he said it was 3 were dead. 1 was living. And he said they were childlike beings, big head, 4 fingers. And he told his son, we killed it. Meaning the one that was still alive from the Roswell crash, because they were experimenting on it, trying to do different. And Lieutenant Colonel Magruder said, we killed it. He told his son, we killed it doing that sort of stuff. And he was then forced under secrecy in lieu of being court-martialed and having everything taken from him. Also, his World War II fighter pilot name, Black Mac.
Sounds way racist.
Well, I'm because he was like the Black Plague of Death, and then his last name was Magruder, so it was like Death of Magruder. I don't know.
Magruber.
Yeah. And he told his son, with his health fading, it's an awesome secret to carry all my life. That there's more than just us on this planet and in this solar system, in the universe. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, there's underground chambers, there's cryogenic chambers, according to different witnesses, different reports throughout the years, that sort of thing. In the 60s, this is where Project Blue Book started and was carried out. Was at Wright-Patterson. The Foreign Technological Division, the FTD, it's in charge of the airspace missile prevention sort of thing. So it's like any sort of tech surprises, that sort of stuff that's based out of Wright Field and that sort of thing. And also they do a lot of, there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of other stuff saying that the different sort of stuff going on at Wright-Patterson, there's, they were reverse engineering Russian technology. They were reverse engineering German technology. So why not, UFO technology. March 25th of 1948 in Aztec, New Mexico, military guys were sent out to investigate, on something that had landed, an unidentified object that had landed. And they came upon a large silver object, 100 feet in diameter. And it was found by the military guys. It was intact, for the most part. And witnesses wouldn't enter the craft or go near it or anything like that. Any of the military guys. One of the head guys in charge, walked up to the craft, and his soldiers were like, no, back up. They were all afraid. And he found a porthole that was shattered. That was like one of the only pieces of damage that he could see. And he was looking in, and he could see 2 bodies slumped over inside. And then, of course, learning from the Roswell sort of thing, not letting it get out of control by letting, farmers and stuff, the military immediately swarmed upon it, and they take over at the site. And they separated, the locals that had sort of first reported it, that sort of stuff. And they basically said, shut your fucking mouths.
Look at this light.
Yeah, flashy thingy. But, I was watching this documentary and looking at this stuff, and somebody put something so simple in the documentary that I'd never really thought about it before, because, any sort of debunker or anything like that, and maybe this is just an easy excuse, but I found it interesting because I'd never thought about it this way. which was, you know, when you were told to shut your mouth, like back then, like back in the 50s, you know, you felt as though it was like your patriotic duty, you know, so you did it because you trusted your government, you know, back then,
right?
You know, and so, you know, it's such a simple thing, but I was like, well, I mean, that makes more sense because, you know, back then you would be like, especially with something that crazy back then, you know, you're like, well, it's our military, it's our government. Like if they're saying don't talk about it and they've got it under control, then they know what they're doing because they're, you know,
yeah, we're all fine.
Yeah. From that thing, you know, the military was able to sort of swarm in and, you know, weed people out and get people out of there quickly. And then much more better, get all the ship stuff and, you know, and the bodies, in quote unquote recorded history, you know, according to the you know, secret files, 14 to 16 bodies were recovered. And you know, it's one of the most significant because of the high body count. In October of 1947 in Paradise Valley, Arizona, there was recovery. May of 1953 in Kingsman, Arizona, June of 53 in Laredo, Texas, and December 5th, 1965 in Kecksburg, PA. All downed craft and recovery and taken to Wright-Patterson.
Damn, man.
Yeah. And that's just some of them. There was throughout that time, there was, you know, 50 to 100 or so. And it all goes to Wright-Patterson. Some people call it the graveyard because of, you know, broken ships, not broken ships, bodies alive and dead. And then it kind of goes quiet. Like, you know, in the 60s, there's the Project Blue Book and there's the stuff, but it's kind of like they've got it more under control and, you know, it's out of sort of the public consciousness,
right,
if you will. And then in 1978, Leonard Springfield, he actually has a speech in Dayton, Ohio, the same town that fucking Wright-Patterson is in. And Springfield ends up writing a bunch of books about UFOs. He's starting to interview people that are getting older that were originally around. He was like one of the first people in the late 70s to really try to bring this UFO thing with, like, you know, with like people that work there or something like that, sort of like into light. The only problem with, like, you know, his thing is that he did a lot of anonymous tippers type of thing. Like, this guy worked for the military, no name, no, just this person worked for the military type of thing. In one of the stories, and this is, you know, one of the classic ones that I had heard before, there was this person that he called PJ, and you know, him and a couple of derelicts over at Wright-Patterson were, you know, wandering around. They wandered into like a secret hangar type of thing, and they saw a 15-foot wide by 8-foot deep saucer type craft floating in the hangar. And then, you know, they were escorted out by the MPs, military police, and you know, said, they're like, that's just something that we're working on and don't worry about it. And so they're like, oh, fuck up, that's crazy, okay, sure. And the another cool one that I saw on this thing was this lady named June Crane, and she had never really spoken on the record before she had never spoken on the record before 97, and then she died in 98 at the age of 73. But she was typist and secretary for like one of the higher ups at Wright-Patterson. And, you know, so she would type his memos, she would type his reports and that sort of stuff. And one day he came in and he goes, hey, you're good at wrecking stuff. Here. Or no, tearing stuff down, I think is what he said. You're good at tearing stuff down. Here. And he pops, you know, a piece of the metal folding, unfolding stuff. He's like, take it apart, you know, rip it up, do whatever. And, you know, so she was trying, she couldn't do it. And she was like, you know, what's this? What is this? What is it? You know, and he's like, oh, that's a piece from a spaceship from Roswell. And
that's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. And they have documents saying Wright-Patterson captures, it says like in these documents, Wright-Patterson captures non-U.S. space objects and of unknown origin. And then they called that thing Project Moondust. Objects obtained, shipped to Patterson Air Force Base. So anytime that they would find some sort of unidentified craft, and it became a thing called Project Moondust, and everything was shipped to Patterson. June says that she was personally aware of 3 specific times that ships, bodies, that sort of thing were brought in to Wright-Patterson, just because she heard it, because of things that were going on. First one was Roswell, the actual Roswell incident, and then there was just 2 other times when they would recovery, shipments would come in, and she would hear about, and her boss would be like, "Yeah, it's more of that stuff." She says 2 bodies were brought there in an ice box on one of the times, one of the stories that she
delicious.
Yeah.
What do you think alien tastes like?
Raw eggs.
I can get down with that. Just
the taste of it, not the consistency.
Gotcha.
So in 1997, people, somebody that was doing some research found her, and it was the first time, and they said, the classic, aren't you scared? Aren't you scared to talk about this? And her response was, I'm 72. Are they going to shoot me or put me in prison? I can handle both. A year later, she died.
Whoa! Do you think the government had anything to do with that?
Yeah, they killed a 73-year-old woman.
Maybe.
Patterson has an anthropod lab. So they work with like chimps and apes and that sort of stuff there. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of, if you're going to work on 4-foot tall little green men, you probably have something in there that will work. You've got all the size stuff that kind of works with that sort of stuff. There's also said, like I was saying, there's tons of underground stuff underneath there. This is from one of those unnamed interviews. An unnamed soldier said that a DC-7 plane brought, he was, walking through an area, and then, he saw the plane land, and he was curious, so he went over and he saw, the soldiers carrying crates with bodies in them. And then they took the 4 bodies and they put it in a deep freeze morgue that's underground at negative 120 degrees Fahrenheit, kids, because we're in America, for preservation. People wanted sources for that, like I was saying earlier, but Springfield wouldn't name names, which is why, a lot of people thought it was great that he was bringing it to, to the forefront and that sort of thing. But it was more, they're like, well, give us facts so we can double check this and do, all that, do our due diligence as researchers, so it can be looked at as a logistic science rather than just, a bunch of bullshit. There's another person that worked there, an ex-military person named Ted Phillips, and he has photos of bodies that he has stored. And this is actually one of the only times I've actually sort of heard this description. And you'll know when I'm about to say it. It's pretty standard, but then, so they have long appendages. He's talking about fingers. But he says that they're little guys, big heads. Upper arms are actually longer, which I found interesting because I've never heard that before.
Mm-hmm. Not at all.
Specifically, at least, the upper arms are, they're longer, and then it's like the elbows more just like down here. Then they're longer than the bottom. They have slit mouth, the slit ears, the big eyes. But this is what I found interesting is he's like, there's 4 fingers, but there's a membrane between the fingers, almost like webbing. But it was like, it wasn't like how our skin is tough. He was saying it looked kind of like, he said it was like a gooey membrane in between, almost like, like fish, like a webbing or something, or like in Hellboy, like the one guy with the,
gotcha.
I'd never heard that before.
I think I've heard that before.
That was just really interesting to me that he was sort of describing. Oh, and one of the general, one of the colonels, one of the guys, I think it was the guy from who's June's boss, said, she's like, oh, what, we've got little green men or something. He's like, no, they're kind of gray and blue, really, and which I thought was an interesting. I've never heard blue before. Like the mixing.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either.
Yeah, he's like they're kind of a mix of like gray and like a blue, which I found pretty cool. So that's where my research stopped because I ran out of time.
That's a lot of good info, though.
But Hangar 18 is your sort of Indiana Jones, where they put all this stuff, the Ark of the Covenant. I know you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Don't shoot me, anybody.
But Snapchat got ICOL status, and but
Snapchat a gun.
But I found it interesting just because the base in and of itself is the base where, like I was saying, like all the sort of reverse engineering and that sort of stuff. And then that sort of goes back to like our first episode that we ever did, which was where I talked about The Day After Roswell with Philip Corso, and he talked about like everything going to Wright-Patterson and all the reverse engineering and everything. But knowing that it's the Air Force's sort of mecca, where like the technology and the planes and the missiles and the different sort of weapons, and they had in this documentary thing I was watching, they had like a guy that like is either a spokesperson for Wright-Patterson or works there now, and he was the one saying, he goes, Wright-Patterson is the Air Force base that keeps us ahead of other people's technology. It gives us the advantage. It's the base where we roll out all the new stuff that goes on a plane, all the new planes, everything that keeps us at a technological advantage over anybody else's military.
So they are Tomorrowland.
Sure.
Essentially, right?
I haven't seen it.
Dude, it's so good.
Really? I've heard mixed reviews.
I love that movie.
I've heard that it was really good, and then I've also heard that it was meh.
People are like, so good.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, Hangar 18.
Yeah, man,
that's
that was awesome.
Yeah, it's a, not a fully formed thing, but it's something that it was one of those quick things that I want to do a bunch of research on, and that sort of stuff. But it's another classic unsolved mystery of the UFO thing. I'm sure you can Google, Wikipedia, fucking YouTube, tons and tons of shit on it.
Yeah, man.
But
did they still have that Netflix documentary on as well? Not Netflix did the documentary, but they have a documentary for Hangar 18 on Netflix.
Oh, I don't know. They might.
Quick check.
Okay. Well, we'll post the results in the liner notes, because I'm not going to wait around for Boz to quick check unless you got something else.
No, I'm good, man.
Okay. Well, we did it. First video podcast.
Hey.
And next time he won't be so tired, and
dude,
I
am
won't have
so tired.
allergies.
I'm so sorry.
And I won't have allergies. Hopefully, it'll be farther along in the summer. How's it going over there? Are you quick checking?
Quick checking. Did not find any results.
No results, so no for the Netflix thing.
Orange is the New Black comes out next week.
Okay.
For the 45th parallel, I have been Boz.
Bentley. Keep your eyes and your ears open, folks.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Dum.
This is making me fall asleep.
You are now leaving the 45th parallel. If you'd like to stay in touch, write us electronically and send it to 45thparallelpodcast@gmail.com. To keep up on what's going on with the podcast, follow it on Twitter @45thparallelpod. Or, to keep tabs on its two caretakers, follow @iCultStatus or @BentleyWho. See you next time in the 45th parallel.